Do you ever feel you struggle as a business owner with success? Do you ever feel that your life isn't what you would like it to be because you haven't achieved a level of success? Maybe you need to think about it in different ways. Kevin Ware, your Action Business Coach, helping you achieve your business dreams. And today I want to do a book review on one of my favorite books that I've read in a long time. The book is called The Oxcart Technique, and it's by Terry Fossum. It is one of the best books that I have ever read on how to achieve success, not only in your business and in your life. Now, full disclosure, Terry is a friend of mine, and I really appreciate everything he has brought to this book. So what I want to do is let's go over the concepts in this book. And at the end of this video, I'm going to want you to go below, click on a podcast that he did with Brad Sugars, and then definitely order the book because it really is a blueprint for your success, not only in your business, but in your life. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing he talks about in this book is banning excuses from your life. Too many times we are experts at finding an excuse. Well, if it wasn't for ... I would have been able to do that. It just wasn't my day today, and so I'm just not going to go out there and do it. Or, you know what, I didn't have time to do it. And I ran out of time is the adult version of the dog ate my homework. What you need to do is you need to ban excuses from your life, whatever that looks like. And so you need to look at, okay, how many excuses do I make in my life for not doing something? And then stop using the excuse as a way to get out of something. So the second thing he talks about in the book is you have to embrace failure. Yes, that is correct. You have to embrace a level of failure that is going to help you figure out how to overcome that failure. Here's the thing, is that if you are not failing, you're not trying. Too many people are scared of doing something because they said, well, what if I fail? Well, wait a minute, let's flip that on the other side. First of all, why would you be afraid of failure if the success can come later from it? Here's the problem, is that we are so afraid of failure that we end up living in mediocrity. I love what Bill Gates once said. Bill Gates once said that, quote, "Success is a lousy teacher. It seduces smart people into thinking they can't lose." And so you are not going to get the lessons in your business and in your life from your successes. Your biggest lessons are going to come from your failures. So be okay with failing over and over and over again until you get it right. So you've got to get out of that fear portion that says, well, what if I fail? What if everything goes downhill? And it might. But the lessons you learn from that will be applied over and over again in your future. Now, the third part of his book, he goes into what is called the Oxcart parable. And the story he tells about is a farmer. And a farmer now has a harvest. He's on an island, and he doesn't know how to get his harvest to market. And so a wise person comes and says, you need to learn how to build a bridge. And so he gives them the ideas and the techniques to build a bridge from his island to the mainland. Well, now the farmer gets to receives an ox to carry all this farm stuff to the market. Here's the problem is the ox, once he saddle up the ox doesn't do anything. And so he asked the wise person, what am I going to do? And so the wise person says, what can you do to get that ox incentivized to actually move? And so he realized, hey, he likes carrots. So he put a dangling carrot in front of the ox, and the ox would walk towards the carrot. But after a while, that didn't work because if the ox wasn't hungry, doesn't want the carrot. So he figured out, hey, wait a minute, the ox doesn't like to be whacked in the backside. And so what he figured out is he put a stick on the tail, and the ox didn't like it, would move forward, move away from the pain. And then the ox would cross the bridge and go to market. And so the whole idea then of this parable is it comes out with three major components to what Terry calls the Oxcart Technique. First one is you need a success scenario. In other words, the carrot. What is the success scenario that you would like in your life that gives you excitement, thrills you, gives you a feeling that really you want something? The second component is the failure scenario. In other words, that's the stick. If you don't accomplish that, what's that failure going to feel like? And then the third component is the action plan. What's that bridge? What's the action plan that gets you to where you want to go? So 3 main components. Success scenario, your carrot. Failure scenario, your stick. Third is the action plan, the bridge to get you to where you want to do. So here's basically a way. Let's say that you want to lose weight. The success scenario is painting of, I've lost 100 pounds. I feel great. It's powerful. I can do all these wonderful things. I am so thankful for my success. The failure scenario is the writing out of that failure. Well, I'm still 100 pounds. I have not lost any weight. I'm losing energy every day. I'm in a lifestyle that I can't take anymore. And at the end of the statement says, this is what I don't want. I will do whatever it takes to get out of this failure scenario. And then the third part is that putting together that action plan. See, here's the whole thing. And the secret behind this is 2 major issues. One, it's got to be a daily devotion. You need to write out a success scenario of what it is feeling like to be successful and how excited you are to achieve that success. You have to write out the failure scenario to go through, I don't want this, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to avoid this. And the third one is the action plan, the step by step process that you will do to get to the success scenario. The second, probably most important thing that he talks about is the emotion. Emotion is the driver of all action. If your success scenario and your failure scenario is simply logical, it's not going to do anything. You have to create a level of emotion in both your success scenario and your failure scenario so that you are going to drive yourself to do that. The key here is that when we are setting goals, too many times there's not enough emotion in our goals. We put a goal down there and it's like, okay, that's fine. There's a lot of logic behind it, but there's no emotion. The Oxcart Technique is all about achieving a strong level of emotion in both your success scenario, your failure scenario, and then the key element is that bridge, the step-by-step process to get what you want in success. Now, here's the thing is there's different applications on the Oxcart Technique that you can use. Marriage, if you have a marriage issue, what are the success failure scenarios and then the bridge, the plan to make that happen? Retirement planning. You can take a look at personal relationships and use the Oxcart Technique, the success scenario, failure scenario, the bridge, i.e. the plan. Your weight, which I just talked about a few minutes ago. Your job, profession, business, anything that revolves around that. Team building. In your team building, you can put a success scenario, a failure scenario, and what's that game plan to build an excellent team. Addictions. What if you have addictions that you want to overcome? You can't do that logically. You've got to create a level of emotional content both on your success and failure scenario and then a defined plan. One of the key elements, and he talks about this in the book, is you need some level of coaching to help you through. You need to have accountability to someone who's going to take you from point A to point B and be your advocate, and someone who's going to kick you in the rear end, who's going to tell you the truth and help you be that person that gets you to that success level. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to, again, click on the link below. One of them is to interview he did with Brad Sugars on the whole Oxcart Technique. The other one is linked to his book. Go ahead and buy it. Let me know what you think. Let's go out there and make success happen in your business and in your life.